Well, meanwhile, some of the world's leading climate scientists have been embarrassed by the publication of hundreds of private emails and research documents which were stolen by computer hackers from a British university. Climate change sceptics have hailed the material as proof that research data has been skewed and suppressed. But the authors of the documents say they show only that scientists are human and sometimes choose their words poorly in robust private exchanges. Margot O'Neill reports.
It's a rare glimpse into the hothouse world of climate science. More than 10 years' worth of hacked emails from the Climatic Research Unit at the British University of East Anglia, revealing frustration, even anger among some scientists about the continuing influence of sceptics. In one email, sceptics are described as idiots. In another, the 2004 death of Australian sceptic John Daly is called cheering.
Something is seriously sick with the culture at the top of the global warming scientist cabal. It is indicative of a tribal mentality, a demonisation of anyone who dares doubt their work. Now, they gloat, for example, over the death of a very gentlemanly sceptic, John Daly, who was in Tasmania, Tasmanian in fact, who did wonderful work on sea level rises.
I don't think anybody should be particularly happy if someone dies, but I think we can hold those sceptics, like Daly, to account for placing future generations at risk.
Climate scientists complain they've been accused of far worse.
We have been accused of scientific fraud. That is a sackable offence. If a climate scientist could be shown to have committed scientific fraud, they should be sacked. However, I would like the same standard to be applied to the sceptics.
There are serious questions about some of the scientific references in the hacked emails, which sceptics claim debunk the notion of a consensus on climate change, such as this statement by a leading American atmospheric scientist, Dr. Kevin Trenberth, who wrote about temperatures plateauing in 2008. The fact is we can't account for the lack of warming at the moment, and it is a travesty that we can't.
I'm worried that these guys have been committed to a theory that is falling to bits, and privately they admit that it's got problems, but publicly they're pushing the world to adopt a massive reorganisation of the way we do business.
But that's not what Kevin Trenberth meant, says Professor Pittman, who says although temperatures have plateaued, this decade is still the hottest on record.
There isn't the faintest hint of a hoax, of a conspiracy, of a right-wing or a left-wing bias to fund the research of climate science or anything like that. It's the normal repartee and discussion between climate scientists.
Andrew Bolt says other emails discuss suppressing data. East Anglia University's Professor Phil Jones wrote in 2005 that if they ever hear there is a Freedom of Information Act now in the UK, I think I'll delete the file rather than send it to anyone.
What we see is some of the world's top climate scientists, the ones most involved in developing this theory, involved in a massive collusion stretching from America to Britain in trying to fiddle with data, destroy data when others try to check it, sceptics try to check it.
But many scientists are bound by contract not to reveal their raw data because of its commercial or military value, says Professor Pittman.
If they did pass it on, it's a breach of contract. And even beyond that, they are currently in negotiations with most of those countries to ask for permission to pass the data on. But until that's agreed, it's not that the climate scientists wouldn't want to pass it on. It's that the people who've given you the data say that you can't.
Police are now investigating the cyber attack on the University of East Anglia. Margot O'Neill, Lateline.